Hello, welcome to paper 1, question 5 of June 2022. So this is the coding challenge. I'm going to go through how I would approach it, how I would do it, and yeah, hopefully it helps. So let's look at the question. What it says is let's write a program that asks the user to enter a string. It should then change the order of the vowels in the string and display the result. If there are n vowels in the string, the first vowel should swap with the nth vowel in the string, and the second vowel in the string should swap with the nth minus one vowel in the string, and so on. The letters A, E, I, O, and U are the only vowels, right? So if the user enters horse, the program should then display herso, which swaps the O and the E. If the user enters the string goose, then the program should display the string GEOSO, which swaps the O and the E, but it keeps this O in the same place because it's got nothing to swap with. Right, okay, so the first thing I'd probably go about is getting the user input. So let's define a variable string, and we want to get the user input from the user, and let's say, give me a string. Let's check that. Let's print that string and make sure that works. Right, so test. Cool, so that gives me test here. So that's working fine. Let's do a little comment as well, so we get input. Cool, okay. So the next thing I'd probably do is define my vowels in a list. Right, so vowels, let's call them vowels. We'll have a list, and we'll say A, E, I, O, and U. Right. So there are vowels. So we have a string. We have the string. We have the vowels. We probably want to find the location of each vowel in the string now, right? So how could we do that? We could go through each character in the string and get the index of the vowel in the string. So let's define a list called vowel location, and that's just going to be a list, right? And let's do a comment, find the vowels. Cool. So for each index I in range, which is in the range that we're going to define, len string, which is going to go from 0 to the end of the string. If the specific character in the string at string index I is in vowel locations, then we just want to add the location. We want to add that to the list, so I'm just going to add I, right? So let's test that works. So if we go print the string and the entire list, and we run that, and then we do one of the examples here, so let's do horse, right? That's wrong, so that should be vowel, sorry. Let's try again, horse, right? So we've got horse 1 and 4. So the vowels in here are O and E at indexes 1 and 4. Yep, so that works fine. Let's do another test on one of the other ones. Let's do goose. So yeah, 1, 2, and 4. So we know that works, right? Okay, so now we need to go about swapping vowels, right? So swap vowels. Now there are a couple ways you could do this. I think the simplest way is probably to use 2 markers in the string, right? So if we have P1 is 0, and then P2 we want to start at the other end of the vowel locations list, because we want to, in the question it says to swap the vowels at basically opposite ends. So the first vowel with the nth, the second with the nth minus 1. So we want to basically go through this list at either end and then converge on one another in the middle. So we want to do len vowels minus 1, as that's the index, right? And then we want to convert our string to a list as well, so we can fiddle around with the specific characters in the list. So we can do a quick s equals list char for char in string. Now this notation is exactly the same as saying for char in string s dot append char, right? And that's assuming we have an s like that. So that's just the same notation, just a bit shorter and more concise. Okay. Okay, cool. So we're going to say that while p1 is less than p2, so while we're not crossing over, while we're still on the unique vowels, we want to set a temporary variable to s indexes p2. So this is going, sorry, not indexes, vowel locations p2. So this is going to be the specific vowel that we found here in the string. We're going to set that as a temp because we're going to swap them, right? And we can't swap both ways without there being a temporary variable. So the next thing we're going to do is now actually swap one of the vowels, right? So we're going to swap this with the pointer 1 vowel and change it to p1. Now we're going to set the first location to the temporary variable. So you see that we're going to set the temporary to the p2 vowel, which then here is going to be changed to the p1 vowel, right? So then we've lost this initial variable, which is why we need the temporary one, right? And then we're going to increment our indexes. So the p1 is going to be moving right, the p2 is going to be moving left, and the hope is that they're going to converge on one another. And yeah, it's a simpler way of, instead of using 2 for loops, right? So if we test this, see if this runs. This might run. Let's try horse, right? Oh. Yep, I found an error. It was this one again, vowel locations. And also, at the end of this, we need to join our list, right? So that is how you join a list into a string. So we want to join the string back together. Right, so let's try this. Horse. So herso, that is the same as this one. Let's try another example. Let's try goose, right? Geoso. Perfect. Right. If we try a slightly longer example, the third example here, which is going to be pink fairy armadillo. Ponk fiery armadillo. Yep, that seems right. If we try naked mole rat, naked mole rat means the same, that's correct. If we try lynx, lynx stays the same, that is correct. And if we try pig, perfect, that works fine. So yeah, I hope that helped. A very quick and brief overview of the code, how I would go about it. And yeah, thank you.